we all do come from the original seed, so we all know we come from the same bloodline, even after the flood. There were hidden texts that are only given that only one can transcribe it, the chosen one.
My name is Grady Stewart, an American living in Australia, and in 2018, I was convicted of cocaine trafficking from Compton, California to Perth. I've done my crime, and this podcast is my redemption. Are you ready? Welcome back to Crimes and Misunderstandings. It's a true crime podcast where we track down convicts, have conversations with them, and see if they're on the fast track back to prison or the road to redemption. So, without further ado, and backed by popular demand, we have brought Silas. So many of you guys have been asking about this guy. He actually was on the fast track back to prison. So he's now been released again. But we're gonna let him just go straight into it with the Song of Moses. Go for it.
Ihoha wairua tapu. Ihoha wairua. Ihoha wairua tapu. Ihoha wairua. Haere mai, haere mai, haere mai tēnā koutou katoa. Haere mai, haere mai, haere mai ki te tangata whenua. Ko te kororia ihoha wairua tapu, ihoha wairua. Ki ko atahua matua, ko tahi atua. Ihoha wairua tapu, ihoha wairua. Ki roto ki waho aroha nui, ki roto ki waho aroha mai. Ihoha wairua tapu, ihoha wairua. Harikoa aroha, rangi marie te waiora. Ihoha wairua tapu, ihoha wairua. Koha, ihoha wairua tapu. Koha, ihoha wairua. Ihoha wairua tapu. Koha, ihoha wairua. And that's the Song of the Sea. Wow. So basically, what it says, at the start.
What does that song mean? Like, what is it all like?
So 7 times ihoha wairua tapu, is sung, and 7 times iho wairua. So what it means is that the spirit of Father, which is carried across the sea, so it's done on the urupa, and a urupa means a cemetery. So with the Maori kingitanga, my family is buried on top of a mountain in New Zealand. It's called Mount Taupiri. And at Mount Taupiri, my firstborn, well, my brother, my mum's firstborn is buried there too. So he's part of the resurrection. So basically all the people there were anointed. Same with my grandmother, Mihi Watara Taumohi, my mum's father, Hare, Mohi Tuara, he's there. So in the middle of the name of the Tānes is actually the revealing of what Father had named, or the name of the place of the Holy Land, Pukekawa, which is in Edward, Pukekawa Maki, Iriwera. So the song, I'll get to the words. So the song means, where it says, Ko te kororia, means all glory. Goes to ihoha, which is in Maori, wairua tapu, which is sacred spirit, and then, well, I said haere mai, actually, sorry. Haere mai means to come. Ki te tangata whenua means all the peoples of the land, and and says all glory goes to my father. Kiko atahua matua means to my beautiful father. And ko tahi atua means my one God. And then I continue on to say ki roto ki waho aroha nui. That means on the inside and the outside with love. And ki roto ki waho aroha mai means on the inside and the outside with sorry love. So sorry love is the tears we cry. And that's the tears from Waitangi. So Waitangi, the tereti or Waitangi is the tears that we cry, the waters of life. And that was, why is Maori for water. So water is why, and tangi is the tears we cry. So that association with that, and then I said the words harikoa. So harikoa means joy in Māori. Aroha means love, and rangimarie means peace. So these are the three foundations of discernment of the Holy Spirit in Māori. And these were given to me down the back when I was going through suffering and torment by these disgusting others, I should say. And
Discussing elders, did you say?
Oh, disgusting others.
Others.
Yeah.
Who's that? Do you want to move a little bit to your right, Silas? You're moving behind the mic. We want to see that face of yours.
Oh, yeah.
Bit to your right, your right.
My right.
Yeah,
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, thank you.
Go ahead, Grady. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to talk about the conditions right now in Perth jails are not good at all. They're understaffed. You just got out. I mean, there's no heating, no air conditioning. So in the summers, I mean, you're hot. The way these cells are built, I haven't been to the new Casuarina, is it keeps like warm air in the summertime and cold air out in the wintertime. And it is miserable. But now they're so understaffed, and I don't think it's the guards' fault, but they need to find some funding. It's miserable. There's 3 people in a 2-man cell, and they are locked down for 23 hours a day together. I mean, stepping over each other, people laying on floors. There was a mate of mine called, and he's a friend of his, Jason Wimbridge. He actually killed himself in prison this week. He, I guess, hung himself, but they brought him back. They kept him on life support, and while he was on life support, they gave him bail so he wouldn't show a death in custody. But that was the 3rd one this week, and there needs to be something done about. We want to help people. We're not against anybody here, but like the staff must be under tremendous stress. The people that are the inmates, they have families. Some of them are scumbags, yeah, but you know what? They also have families. Some of them aren't that bad of guys like me. I wasn't a bad guy. But they're suffering in there, and it's beyond like what should be happening. And there needs to be some attention brought to it. Like we were talking to this guy, and the guy that called in, and he said, man, years ago in the Fremantle, but I think it was 1988, they had the Fremantle riots. And what they did is they just siphoned all the petrol out of lawnmowers, and they ended up lighting the whole prison on fire and like trying to do an escape. And what's going to happen is somebody needs to get in there and prevent what's going to happen. When I was in there was 2 riots, and they were not good. They burned two jails almost to the ground. Guards almost got killed. They need to act now because bad stuff is getting ready to happen. If they don't, we don't want guards getting hurt. We don't want prisoners getting hurt. We don't want families without family members. And people are killing themselves because of the inhumane conditions. And that's why I was just going to say, let Silas tell you how it is. He just got out of there.
I wanted to touch base on the fact of what happened when I did get put into the back in Hakea prison.
Yeah.
Because it's important to understand what they were doing to me and attacking my spirit before I got given the Song of Moses. And basically, folks, when I was incarcerated for false imprisonment, the prison officers had had asked me to go for a transfer to Albany. And I said, well, I've only got 2 weeks left and I live in Perth, so why would I go to Albany? I heard that it was just for volunteers. So anyway, they said that I'll be going down the back. So they put me in down the back, which is a punishment, and in Hakea. They didn't feed me, so they threw my food on the floor. It was stale bread. They probably wiped their balls on it, probably put a bit of shit on it, but that's what they do. And tormented me for 8 days straight. And I didn't get any peace. I didn't get any rec, and I didn't get any phone calls to any of my loved ones, so they didn't know where I was. And it was just just juggling around with the court systems for their own pleasure in something that was just diabolically wrong. So I'm released now. The judge got the true story of what happened, and she released me on a 3-month suspended fine. So really, you know, when we look at things like this, that you know, the tragedies between how people are trying to show the narrative, you know, and then you look back at it now and you think, well, I'm just going to reflect on this, and now I'm out. I come into the studio today to elaborate on this song. So I was given the Song of Moses the morning that I was released, which was released on a Monday morning. I was supposed to stay in there for another day on the Tuesday, but then I got transferred to Casuarina prison, and I went to court from there and got released.
Tell me what it's like living in there, Silas.
So when I was in Hakea, before I moved from there, I did go to Casuarina prison. So they do have 3 outs there, peoples, and practically they just have a mattress on the floor.
Explain to them what a 3-out is, because for people that haven't been to prison, they wouldn't know.
Oh, yeah. So you've got a cell, and it's probably only 3.5 meters fucking long and 2 meters wide, and it's got a toilet down the end of it. You've got a bunk bed, and then you've got I wouldn't call it a trundle, it's just a mattress they lay on the ground because they've got them in 3 outs. So that's the dimensions of the area that you're staying in, and you've got a toilet, and you've got to share that at night, folks. So really, man, those conditions, that's just brutal. That's inhumane.
Well, I know how annoying people. So a lot of people in prison are annoying, believe it or not. Like they can get on your last nerve, but you put 3 people, 3 potentially violent people in a very small cell, and there's going to be some. I guarantee you they're having escalated violence, and they're not getting to that violence fast. So there's going to be some bad stuff happen if these conditions aren't addressed. I mean, the mental health of people who are going in there is it's unbelievable. I mean, there's no reason for that many people to be killing themselves in prison. I've been there. It's not that bad when it's run smooth, but when you don't have enough staff, the staff is stressed, the prisoners are stressed. We got to do something about it.
Yeah, I think what people don't know is that through this podcast, we've had people contact us, and it's not mainstream media news at the minute, but there's people, like Grady said, that have killed themselves, have attempted multiple suicides, and things are getting really crazy in these Perth prisons because they're understaffed. And we broke the news here that Silas, after that last episode, went back into jail. He went back to prison. What happened after that episode, Silas?
So basically, the police had come to my mum's house. So as you know, peoples, by my videos on Facebook, that I had been a target by the police after I had exposed them for killing the homeless on our streets during COVID. And there's a video of them coming into my house with their guns drawn. For that very fact. So basically I got put on a move on notice that escalated to a RO because they tried to bash me at the neighbour's house. They brought their guns out, and you can see it on the video.
So once again, RO, just for people out there, that's a restraining order. A lot of times you'll hear of a VRO, which is a violent restraining order. This was not violent. It was just a restraining order. And he was welcomed by his mother, who was also the homeowner.
Yes. So that's what happened. And I had a phone call to the police. I won't address who rang the police because she's already under scrutiny for doing that. But my mum had come out the door and saw that the police were outside, and she ran up to see what was happening. She told the police that she allowed me to go there to have a shower because I had a luncheon with my brothers, with Tom and with Loomsy. And she allowed me to have a shower because I don't have shower amenities where I am, where the police had forced me to be a homeless man after I went out to feed the homeless peoples. And basically I was put under scrutiny by them. It turned out that the judge had said that it was on the lower order of things, which meant that they didn't disclose that my mum had allowed me to go there. They had actually kept me absent from the courtroom peoples. I wasn't allowed to go into the courtroom. They actually handcuffed me to 3 big Maori fellas and escorted me straight to Hakea prison. But during that debacle,
Quick shout out to today's sponsor, Zenzino, a Scandinavian test-based nutrition company with a game-changing omega product the most Aussie health nuts haven't even heard of yet. But just like this product, it's going to blow up soon. So you're going to want to jump on board. Their patented balance oil starts with a simple blood test to show if your omega-3s are deficient. And odds are they are. What makes the difference? This isn't your average fish oil. It's loaded with powerful polyphenols. I can't even read this. This is fucking too long for what's a polyphenol? Is it
It's good. No, it's good. It's good. Keep going. This is the ad.
Polyphenol that stops oxidation.
Yeah.
Well, I need oxygen in my body. I don't want it to stop, but if they say it's good, it's good. All right. Do you want oxygen?
Unless you're a free diver, then you don't need it.
Yeah, pull that microphone close to you because, what was it? Price is Right had Dana. What was the name? They had Vanna White, like the very beautiful Vanna White that turned the letters. We've got Lillian today to help me out. This is a game. Don't go there. It was a game show that was so famous in America. It was called No.
Is this still the ad read?
Yeah, this is still the ad read about Zenzino.
All right.
So I'm explaining my guest here.
Yeah.
She's already busted what are you busting my balls for? We're supposed to be on the same side.
Because I don't really understand. You said you need oxygen unless you're a free diver, you don't. But yeah, whatever.
So, no, oxidation. I can't read, so I was just trying to be funny, but you've ruined that for me, so start again. I was trying to give you props. Anyway, we've gotten way sidetracked. Zenzino, buy it or you're a bitch.
the prosecutor had said to the judge that I was being disorderly inside the courtroom. I was being disruptive. That was the word, disruptive in the courtroom. And I said that he was a liar, Your Honour, because I didn't even get to go to the courtroom. I was handcuffed to 3 big Maori fellas, and they took me away in the truck to Hakea prison. So she felt the injustice was already done by the prosecutor having to lie to her and the judiciary, and I do think that there's going to be some sort of justice served because of that anomaly, because it was actually a false imprisonment.
It's been a hectic time over here, not only for Silas. We've got one of our other favorite characters, Clarky. He was a little bit of a bad boy, so we don't judge anybody here. We try when we bring people on the show, we try to make them do better with themselves, and we don't like look. Who am I? I can't judge anybody. I just want you guys to do good. Hopefully I can use this platform to do it. We drink beer, whatever. We're nobody's dad, but we're not going to like encourage him. Clarky decided to have a little bit too much fun the other night, and he has revisited his old stomping grounds. Hopefully for not too long, maybe just a couple weeks, but he will be back, and he's right now. I talked to his wife today. He's sleeping on the floor. His back's out. 23 hours a day, hot, 30 plus degrees in the cells. It's not fun. They need to start giving people like bail. Like the drug sentencing here in Western Australia is the strictest in the world, bar none, for first world nations. You know, we're not talking like Asian nations, like, you know, like Kuala Lumpur, or, you know, Thailand and stuff, but in Australia, what you get, like, I got 6 years for something that you would have gotten probably a year for in Sydney, and nothing in America. So they are outrageous, and there's people that go in there and you got to wait for trials. And if you don't make bail, I've seen guys go in there. There was a guy in there for 2.5 years on a murder charge. He took it to trial. They wouldn't give him bail. He lost his house, his wife, and his kids. And then they, it turns out like it took like 15 minutes for the jury to find him not guilty. There was no evidence whatsoever. So they've got to do some stuff around here. I'm not blaming anybody because I don't want to step on any toes. Sorry, officers, but something's got to be done. And there are some good officers. They got to look after the boys in there. Treat them like humans.
That's another guest that we had that's gone back in. Clarkie's great. That's sad news.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, we've got to mention everybody. He's got a tenement. We've got him a crusher and a couple processors. Well, he got himself the processors. He went out there and found gold and bought more equipment with it. He's just Clark. He's like, don't tell him I said this, but I think he's like a savant or autistic or something. All he talks about is gold, man. He's like, look at him, like those gold lines. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? But I have a feeling this guy might be super, super wealthy. His work ethic is nuts. He goes out there and he works all day and all night carrying like bags of soil back and forth. I think he's at 5 to 10 Ks and then loads up a trailer and truck, and then he goes and processes it. And man, his last load in 3 days, he made $44,000. So I mean, wow. Yeah, the guy. I'm telling you, was tortured in a cell with him. Man, I never wanted to hear about gold. I'm the only person in the world that doesn't want to see gold. Please, no gold, man. Thank you, Clarky, for the torture, man. I couldn't wait for that cell to open up in the morning because I couldn't hear about gold. But he's working hard. So he's back in because he done been messing up around here, boy. But what about this? So Diogo, the dude's a straight weirdo. He's like sending me messages at 4:00 in the morning about some big cocaine bust. I was like, man, don't you know I've been up for the last 3 days? I don't want any more. No, I'm kidding. But there's some massive, what was that drug bust you brought up yesterday? I mean, huge, like $650 million over...
they had a massive 5 arrests made. There was a boat that went out and they caught a 24 and a 26-year-old guy, and they brought him in and grabbed another 3 that were waiting for the drugs as well. So this is one of the biggest cocaine busts. It goes into the top 5 in Australian history. It's... $650 million is the street value of this cocaine bust. So officers allegedly found 1,110 blocks of cocaine together, 623 million on the street that was taken out. It's wild.
Yeah, but so I was there. So there was the other drug bust. There was a sailboat. You're right. You might remember this. But the sailboat. It was coming over from Madagascar, and it was going into Geraldton, which is like it had I think it was like $1.2 billion in coke, meth, and I don't know, whatever MDMA, I think. And actually, I was in prison with the captain, and I guess we're 7 days late. They just kept in. I don't know how you fall asleep at the helm when you've got $1.2 billion worth of meth on there. It's like, I mean, you got to be doing something wrong there. But they got a massive. That was I don't know if that was the biggest one or not. And then I remember there was this other one. There was some guys in a boat from Melbourne, and one of the guys' name was Chris Gafgakis. And I remember he kept saying he was a DJ, and he's like, they just told me they were taking me fishing. He spent 3 years in there, and I mean, he had a computer that did this guy. I mean, I believe absolutely nobody's innocent. But this guy convinced me. He worked at the library with me, and I was like, this guy has got to be innocent. Then there was another guy, Keenan, that was with him. Keenan's idea was he had gotten a van and was going to steal all the meth. And so he reckons because he didn't bring it over, he was innocent, even though he was there to steal it. And I think he got 27 years. But Chris Gafgakis got off. But those are 2 other ones that I know of that size. And I don't know of any others. What did they say? This is the 5th biggest or the 3rd?
Yeah, this one hits top 5. So it's a massive bust.
Yeah, that's funny because that captain, his name is Anton Decente, and he's got I guess he has a child with the lady that was Russian. He spoke Russian, French, Spanish, English. The guy played chess better than anybody, and Talk about a life story. If anybody out there in the movies wants a life story, this guy was selling to all kinds of places in Africa, delivering like small arms to like militant groups. And like, man, talk about a crazy life, like sailing for the cartels and man, crazy antidescente. And then to go down because you fell asleep at the helm. And not only that, when they picked him up, I love Etta, but they get his phone, it's not locked, and there's no way he was getting out of it. He goes. You can bring up the footage. He goes, not that one, man. The meth is heavier than the coke. You got to move the coke to get to the meth and to get past the meth to get to the MDMA. So like, and then he's filming dolphins, and that's on his phone when the cops picked him up. So there was no getting out of that one. I think he got 27 years.
Yeah. Oh man,
man, not a good day. Not a good day.
So Silas, mate,
Yep.
Now you're out. You might have seen that your episode. You had a lot of people that that enjoyed actually what you were saying. At the time, you were saying some deep stuff. Have you had a time to read through those comments yet?
I did read through a few of them, and there was mentions of the giants, the blonde-haired and red-haired giants.
Yeah.
And basically, it goes back to Taiwan. So we were the first to travel by sea. So we're called the water people. And
New Zealanders or
yeah, because we traveled from Thailand, from Asia, like I said on the original podcast. So anyone can check this up. And obviously that is the House of Shem, like I had said on the original podcast. There are a lot of documentaries about the migration of the Maori people. So they were trading knowledge and ideas. Because they were the only ones to be able to travel by sea, first of all. They had travelled down from Asia and moved down into the Polynesian islands, and that's where they were doing their trading and sharing knowledge of the spirit and their navigational skills by tides, stars, the moon, the water currents. We all do come from the original seed, so we all know we come from the same bloodline, even after the flood from Noah's day. So there's only Japheth, Ham, and Shem that we all originate from, our bloodlines. So that's why I did the talk from Asia, because we actually had travelled from Asia by the sea, and we had gone down to Polynesian islands as well, and then settled there, which was only 1,000 or 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, what a mind! What kind of mind does Silas have? Like, just to even memorize like the genealogy of what's happened in the Bible, and after like, I studied it my whole life, but I barely even know who Noah is. So like, but like, what a strong mind! Hey, so there were some haters. Some people say you're crazy. Like some say on the pipe, and then some loved you. Say your spirit was so uplifting. So I mean, like I told you before, for like every 100 like good comments, there was probably 2 bad ones. So are you crazy or are you good?
I'm good, man.
He's good.
I'm good, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a good heart. You're good. He's just a relaxed guy. There's so many women in there. They want your social media. You said, you've been getting a lot of requests.
Yeah.
There's people asking for you. I don't know what you want to do. If you want to be contacted, should we give your number out on the air?
We might get the phone ringing all the time now while we're talking. But I think once people know your lineage, because it has to go through bloodlines. So bloodline's really important. Japheth is the Caucasians. Ham is like the Africans. Aboriginals are also part of Ham. Then you got Shem, which is the Asian area. So there was 3 bodies of land at the time after the floods, and that's where we had originated from Noah's time.
So hold on, what was the first race you said? What was the first race?
Ham.
What does he have? What was his race?
Ham.
Yeah.
They're all like the Africans and
Africans, and then which one? Shem.
Shem is the Asians.
And then
And then Japheth is the Caucasians.
Oh, it's the Caucasian. Okay, I thought you said it's a Chinese, but okay, cool.
No.
That's Shem.
That's Shem.
Okay, man.
Yeah, Asia.
I'm out to lunch as usual. Bring me dessert.
But
Wait, Silas. This is a pretty big point. You just said just then. Do you think the Australian Aboriginals originated in this land, or do you think they came down as well?
well, I do think that it wasn't inhabited before, but then we've got different broken lands that have been founded after the time of the flood, which was only Noah and his family. So we had to procreate to be able to venture into where we are now currently in this day and time. And a lot of things are contributing factors, I suppose, with the water levels, the water tables, and the different sea levels. So I think that has a dramatic effect on the geographic nature of things with the land masses and stuff. It's just constantly changing the bodies of land to the bodies of water. It's very strange.
So for the people that are like not, how do I put it, not so religious, their question would be to you if
Yep.
Noah's family survived the floods, how did they then morph into Shem, which is Asians, Ham, which is Africans, and Caucasians?
I suppose we have to look at time and being in a time on different timelines, we couldn't understand about the land and how it was back then.
What do you mean by that?
Because the water would have had to have dissipated and land would have been revealed after so many years from the flood because the whole land masses were covered with water. As it says that Noah's Ark, which has been found, was sitting on Mount Ararat. And Noah's flood is actually there. You can look it up. You can actually see. You can even actually see the rock where Moses had split it with the watermarks through the rock. Where these biblical places and these places of history are founded through a word, and those words were recorded. So these accounts, you can actually date them to that time and understanding of the way currents are. Like we understood the movement of current, and that's how we travelled from the Asian country, from Taiwan, and proceeded to move down to the Polynesian thing. So you've got Korpe and all these other Polynesian chiefs that had these visions. There's a rock that pointed to New Zealand that is in Tawiri, Hawiki, I should say, sorry. And that's all documented as well. So it was something that was particularly different to how we have things today, which we have all these devices. So how did people circumnavigate without instruments? And that's the true question that we need to understand about how the movement of tides, the stars, the changing of stars, the movement of the stars, and that's how we navigated through there. But we did have this case of these spirits and all these spirits that I was talking about, these Nephilims or these Canaanite spirits that got destroyed from the seed of Canaan in the flesh, this was. So when they got destroyed, where did the souls go? Because they're immortal. No one has been given spiritual punishment by Father. This is my belief. And my belief is only carried by the corridors that have been passed on to me through the Spirit and by my family as being Maori and actually having some attachment to these prophecies that are recorded in the Book of Life.
So you don't believe that we're sinners, like we're born of sin and we have to repent for our sins?
Well, repentance is a whole part of it because we're all the same. I'm no different to you, good brother. I'm imperfect too. And we can tell that by how we are, but doesn't mean that we don't know from good We don't know good from bad. It's just that we choose, and our choices or our decisions in life determine which side we're going to be on and how we conduct ourselves, our character. So Shem actually means character or name. So a testimony of how we are and how we perceive ourselves and how we come across to people is our character. That's the main thing. And it's judged by the good deeds we do. We're not judged by bad deeds, because look at it this way. You got to go up against demonic entities. You got to go against satanic cults and all the rest of this stuff. This is real shit that's happening in this world. It's very blasé to understand whether we can make a right decision or a wrong decision. But I think in hindsight, we just got to look at ourselves and say, hey, you know, there's things that we can do, and that's to give love to people and be an expression of love. And there's also the fact of koha. And koha is to give without expecting anything in return. And that is the whole essence of what Father had told me. He said aroha nui, aroha mai, and koha, 3 contributing factors that leads for us to be able to walk on a righteous path. Now, if that was coupled with what I said in the Song of Moses, which is harikoa is joy, aroha is love, and rangi marie is peace. So those 3 factors are the discernment of the Holy Spirit. If people were to understand that we could have those, joy is a sorry love. So a sorry love is the tears we cry to give glory to Father, because he had created everything in life. He didn't create death. Death wasn't here in the beginning. Death was created because of disobedience, and that's a basic fact. If we disobey, we get punished, don't we? We go to jail. You know, you can't even scrub your balls without some police officer come and say, hey, mate, I'm going to go pick you up and chuck you in jail for 3 weeks. So, you know, it really is just a test of someone's character. Their character and their demeanour changes the whole fact of your own narrative when you're going to speak the truth. So if we spoke the truth out of our waha, out of our mouth, and we spoke the kororo, we would only speak what is the determination of the truth of what really happened. Because then there starts to be witnesses, and then people start getting a bit, hang on a minute, I'm trying to break your son's arm. Can you stop looking at me? You know what I mean? And that's really comes down to people that thought that they could get away with something that was already seen by an unseen spirit. And that's what I believe in. You know, if I had to carry myself and go and say, hey, you know what, I'm not going to do the things I was doing previously by feeding the homeless, and I was just going to give up on them. And I was going to say, well, you know what, I'm living on the street. I can't possibly go out and feed the homeless. Well, I am going to. And I'm not going to let anything stop me from having to share the love that I have for them and give them hope. Because hope is everything, man, and hope can only come through faith, brother. And that's what I want to tell people, that, you know, if you really wanted to look at yourself and look at your character, or look at yourself as Shem, which means character, then, you know, you would try to get yourself into a position where you're looked at in a different way, because I was much different to who I am today. You know, I was inside of some really bad gangbangers, man. And, you know, at the end of what I saw at the end of all of that is that what I was actually doing was contributing to it. So I pulled myself out of legalese. I don't carry around a bank card. My bank card isn't signed. I couldn't give a fuck with that. I don't have a license. I will never get a license, because these contributions that we have made, we can do that together by just giving out of what we do out of our heart and doing things. I'd rather work without having to pay taxes. But anyway, thank you, government. This is who I am, and I'm going to proceed and do the right thing by people and actually be an expression so that people can lead by example and actually stand beside someone, not just critically judging them. And I think judgment comes down to it, whether we're judged through the spirit or judged by the flesh. Either way, you know, we're making the determination, and we don't have that authority to do so. So there's got to be a higher source or a higher being that we can believe in. And that's where hope comes from. It can never come from anything that is we already know not to be true, because the world is getting worse. It's not getting any better. And that comes to the people that you have around you too, you know. And I don't say that in a bad way. I've got bad blokes, but I treat them all the same, because that's what respect is. Respect and love goes a long way. Respect is all you got when you're in jail, and I've done many times in jail. But I've always held respect. I can go anywhere with holding myself, because I know the truth. You know, if I was there, I was there. If I'm going to say I did something, I did it. I'm not going to say anything I didn't do, because I look stupid. But that's the way that we can move forward, is by coming together as a family, really.
Hold on,
looking at family as important.
I think my Facebook is being hacked as we speak. My language just turned into Afrikaans.
Wow.
Hey, you're gonna have to fix this. Hold on, because I don't want. My Facebook's getting hacked ever since I gave you my password.
Oh, wow.
Is it Afrikaans? Just turned to Afrikaans.
We got Nigerians. We got Nigerian hackers here, people.
ChatGPT'd it.
Bloody hell.
What are you talking about?
My Facebook, someone's in there fucking around. They changed my language to Afrikaans.
I know how to read Afrikaans. That's all right.
Yeah. This episode is brought to us by Hardtech Digital. Hardtech specializes in the design, manufacture, and supply of signage and safety solutions to the construction, mining, oil, and gas industries. The company has an extensive safety sign and safety product range, along with safety isolation systems, which are at the cutting edge for positive locking, high reliability, and safety energy use. Hardtech design and manufacturing all types of signs to protect workers and to keep the workplace free from accidents.
Sounds good to me.
This episode is also brought to you by Ecolux Interiors Pro Fit PVC Solutions. In the world of commercial interiors, Ecolux Interiors Pro Fit PVC Solutions stands out by offering an unparalleled blend of style, durability, and affordability. Our premium PVC panels are designed to transform any commercial space, be it a chic boutique, a luxurious hotel, or an imposing high-rise, into a masterpiece of design without the hefty price tag typically associated with high-end finishes. Hit up Ecolux Interiors Pro.
All right.
Good.
They sound pretty good, huh?
Oh, I think so. You need finance without the bullshit?
Yes.
Hit up dreamdealer.com.au. He's our man, Jesse. You get your finance for anything you need, from cars to houses to planes to maybe small ammunitions. And we're not serious about everything, but he'll get it financed for you.
Yeah, as he said, you can get it on tick. So he'll give you the cash and he'll finance it. Anything on wheels.
Plan your trip now. Save with our Perth car rentals, Velocity Rentals. Drive our late model cars for an enjoyable, stress-free travel experience that combines convenience, comfort, and flexibility. Whether you're a business trip or on a leisurely getaway, our Perth Hire Services offers freedom to explore at your own pace.
I'll tell you this much, you're a better ad reader than Mayweather.
I can't believe I can read. I've been trying my whole life to read. I can't believe I got through this. I was hoping for like earphones just to repeat, but I can't remember. This is why he gets paid the big bucks.
No problem.
No problem.
Well, we can edit it out.
Oh, so it was Diago's birthday, by the way, this last week on Saturday.
Yeah, I did give him a birthday.
I went there to, I showed up with 2 bottles of Fireball because I completely planned on firing everybody and stayed way too late. And that was until his wife, man, you talk about, she looks so nice and sweet. And then at the end, she's like, you don't even pay him for those episodes. And her eyes turned black, and I was like, oh, damn. I said, Diago, hey. I said, I do pay him. I pay him $8,000 an episode. Has he not been telling you? No. Diago, he's definitely well worth his weight in gold. So we have to put it on an IOU.
All right, we back?
Yeah, we're back.
All right, we're back. Sorry, Silas, we had a bit of technical difficulties there, mate.
All goods.
Just out of curiosity.
Yep.
Do you believe in a Tartarian empire?
Titarian, I don't know what that is.
It's like a hidden past. So all these monuments that are built around the world, they believe that the Tartarians built it, and then there was a mud flood. And that's why when you go to England, there's a lot of windows are almost at the floor level, because this mud flood wiped out this fully advanced human race that existed before us. And they had technology and everything before the mud flood occurred.
What did you call it? The Titarian Empire?
Yep.
Oh, right. So it's just like the people from Aquarius. Well, I mean, why not? I mean, the Earth has been shifting. You can see it in, all the continents were at one point connected, or they definitely looked that way. So, yeah, massive earthquakes. Yeah, done. Yep. Yep. But what about, I don't know if this is bull or what, but I was watching it on Facebook, and you can believe everything you see on Facebook 50-50. They said they just found an underground sarcophagus, it was like ancient Egyptian writing, why can't I finish?
Hieroglyphics.
Yeah, hieroglyphics. There you go. And it was down in Guatemala, and they pull up like a tomb and a couple other things, and it was anyway that's similar to that writing, but inside was the body of an alien with an alien face tattooed on it. The bones were elongated and extended. And they say that DNA tested it as not human but cousin to human.
Do you believe in aliens?
No,
No?
no.
Why?
Because here's a mere fact for you. There were hidden texts that were only given that only one can transcribe it, and that was the chosen one. There are things called the chosen one that I do believe in, and believe in having to be able to decipher certain codes. These codes were given to certain souls that were sent by Father, and those codes were hidden. So there are codes even hidden in the pyramid that speak of a chosen one that will come in the time of the end, Armageddon. Even professions about the afterlife that are written and inscribed in a language that isn't understood even by the Egyptians, because that was done by, I think his name was Horus at the time, and he was one of their sorcerers in the time of Moses. But there are inscriptions that have never been deciphered ever. It can only be done by the one that has been chosen. And that chosen one can only be from a resurrection, which means that Moses sings the Song of the Sea. It's in Revelation 15:1-4 for anyone who wants to cross-reference me. And inside of there it talks about the Song of the Sea, that the people will walk across the sea of glass. Now, we talked about earthquakes here. What will happen is that all the tectonic plates will go off all over the world. On the land in Pukekawa, there are 15 volcanoes on our land, 5,298 hectares of land. There are 15 volcanoes on it, just that land alone. Now, when these lands open up, what comes? Fire, right? Mm. In the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, which it said that it would be the same, Armageddon, if these things do occur in the same time that it occurred then, how do we know that the curtain rods and everything that was from the first moon landing, and we see the pod and it was just a bunch of alfoil and curtain rods and all the rest of the things put together, that we actually landed on the moon? Because we can't decipher that, because there's a lot of things that are a lie. And the lie is basically something that you can't interpret. Other people can interpret the same stories of the spirit, but they can't interpret the lie. That's why some people on my first podcast were talking about these spirits that do exist, and some of them were my family. And they were telling people they're these caves. And that's where these cooties were. These cooties were big, man. They're huge. They're much like what the Aboriginals call the featherfoot, where it's part dog. And these things have red eyes. Now, if these stories are true between each civilization, that each civilization talks about spirits and stuff. Same with the American Indians and all these sort of people. Every single culture has the same thing talking about these spiritual things. They never talk about aliens. They only talk about sacred spirit. It's the same in India, the Indians. They have the same word. They have sacred, like Wairua tapu. Tapu is sacred in our lingo. So in the Aboriginal lingo, they have sacred too. Now, how can all these people have the same thing, but they never talk of aliens? Never
So
once.
what do you believe the UFOs are?
Well, I don't know. Show me an alien. Show me an alien with a probe in his hand.
Why does he have to have a probe in his hand?
Because these are the stories. These are the stories they say I think I got probed by an alien. Now, if they got probed by an alien, man, it's exactly what I said about Satan. He's a fucking poofter. So let me put it this way, Satan, to me, Shaitan or Satan, these spirits, Aziel, Uriel, Gabriel, these are spirits. These are powerful entities. These are entities that existed beforehand, because we've got to look at it as an fact. If the wind exists and you can feel it but you can't see it, imagine if all these spiritual stories of all these cultures were true. And it had to come to one fact, that there is only one that had created everything in life, because it was all done through his spirit. If you take your spirit from you, what remains? Just a dead bit of flesh on the ground. Because in the womb, when I explained about the womb, it's hapu in Maori, and it was hidden there is because it has the word breath of life. When we're born in the womb, we can't exist without the spirit, because the spirit is a part of us, because we do know that when we do go and we die in the flesh, but where does our spirit go to? Because without that spirit, we don't exist. But our spirit remains immortal, because the fact is that you couldn't actually characterize yourself to be saying, hey, the creation had made us all good. And, well, look at us now. It's crazy. This is an insane world. And if we were to concentrate on a mere fact of life, then love would be the momentum of life. Love would be the existence of life itself. Because without love, we don't exist. Because we were put here out of love. We weren't put here out of hatred. Hatred doesn't have a place with love. There's a big dissimilation between love and hate, because it can never come together as an equal. If we were to do the hungi and I was to put my nose to you and put my forehead to you, that sharing of the knowledge and that sharing the breath of life together, that is as equals. We are no different in the flesh than we are. But with the spirit determines a lot of things where we can see beyond what is a reality of truth. Otherwise, everyone will be seeing the same thing. Fuck, people could have been on LSD when they saw fucking UFO flying up their butt. I don't know. It's a crazy assimilation, because I've never thought of anything else. So now a tree is a tree, a fucking dog is a dog, and the fucking space module for 1960 was fucking alfoil and fucking curtain rods and plungers and shit. And how the fuck did they go and say, hey, you know what? There goes the space module away from the moon. Well, who the fuck was filming? Come on. Here's a crazy thought, right? How the fuck did they get the pictures from the space module going off the moon? Who was filming it? Fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know what I mean? Fucking let's get in the studio and make some fucking real fucking shit fucking talk.
Hey, man, we can definitely make that happen, baby.
Exactly, man. So, you know what? I think it comes down to yourself and your reality of truth. And that's mainly what I was saying earlier, man, is about just being not having to fucking say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna say something and people are gonna go, oh, you know, I don't know whether I can balance my fucking balls because I'm starting to say, well, I couldn't even fucking know whether there's a fucking UFO or not that's going to fly past my fucking head because I've never seen one. All I know is satellites are up there and a bunch of fucking space garbage because everyone's talking shit about landing on the fucked up moon. And that's a load of crap. That's like called conspiracy facts, not conspiracy theories. So if anyone wants to doubt me on that, man, just check it all out because I can give you some really good fucking close-ups of that space module. I can really show you some things where you go, what the fuck? That's just stupid. And here's a mere fact about everything else. Well,
but why do you think they fake that? Like, why would they fake going to the moon?
Why would they fake the Tower of Babel? What happened?
You think that the Tower of Babel is faked?
No, it wasn't fake. That's the problem. But I tell you what about demons. Demons will tell you anything under a lie. And that's crazy, isn't it? So here's something, man. And I can talk about this thing all day and people will go, what the fuck, this guy bloke? But here's the thing, man. Don't worry about me swearing and everything else, people. It's all cool, right? It's just that here's a fact about life, man. Life itself can only come from life. And if a tree has ever fucking evolved, it never turned into a spaceship, then it'll still remain a fucking tree. A mountain's still going to remain a mountain. A man is still going to remain a man because fuck if I came from a lungfish. So let's just talk about evolution or fucking Darwin and all the rest of the crazy preposterous shit that flew out his fucking mouth. You couldn't fucking assume that evolution could take place because I never evolved from a fucking monkey neither. So I'm far different. I don't have as much hair as like a monkey. And I haven't got a bunch of fucking bananas here neither. So, here's the thing, man. On the spot, man. If people want to really know what is real, is that you speak the truth and you live the truth. And if you do live the truth, then you can't be making things up because if you're talking about fucking aliens and shit, fucking show me the little fuckers. Show me their little ray gun. Because I tell you what, it looks like something from the 1960s and that's when they first fucking came out. I think it was called what was that?
Operation Bluebeam?
No, Mars, the album. Fucking, the War of Mars or, nah, I can't get it now.
What do you mean an album, like a music album? What do you mean?
Yeah, it was a music album. It was a record. It was an actual record back in the day and it was called the something of Mars. I can't remember it now, but I do know that it had these UFOs on it. Now, how many UFOs did they see? They only had one in Area 51, they reckon. So what was their big squadron of UFOs that were flying over at the time that they found these little spacemen? That could happen if you put a human body out in a radiation patch and they'll soon deform.
Yeah.
They'll soon have big black eyes and all the rest of the shit after they get hit with radiation poisoning. It's happened in Chernobyl.
Haven't they confirmed the United States, China, and Russia now that they have made extraterrestrial life? Has that been confirmed, Diego?
That they can, yeah. There's actually two wolves that have just been made, and they're calling it the two emperors. So they were able to get the DNA of these wolves, and then they've been able to put them in a lab and recreate them. And apparently they don't really have emotions. It's a weird thing. But yeah, they've been able to recreate wolves.
That's not what I was asking. I asked, didn't like the U.S. government, the Chinese government, and the Russian government confirm extra like alien life?
No.
Yes, they did.
When did they do that?
Well, I've seen it on YouTube. Let's see. Hold on. Whoa. No, I'm pretty sure they did. Let's have a look.
Yes.
U.S. government.
So whilst you're looking that up, I'll bring up this So Dallas-based Colosio Bioscience announced it has successfully created 3 dire wolves puppy using ancient DNA and gene editing technology. The company extracted DNA from fossils up to 72,000 years old to recreate the extinct species, which appeared about 12,500 years ago. Now, the Bible only says that the earth is around, if I'm not mistaken, over 6,000 years old.
Maybe 7 now.
Maybe 7. So these are lab engineered wolves that were previously.
It's called genetically modified.
They're soulless, huh? They're born of unnatural nature, so they'd probably be born without a soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It's
They have no emotions.
Yeah, exactly.
Without a soul, you can't have emotional intelligence. Remember I was telling you in the first talk, brothers?
Yeah.
So discernment of the Holy Spirit. Once you know that something is soulless, a lot of people walk around soulless. Fuck, man. We got the zombie apocalypse happening on the streets.
Yeah, that's that fentanyl. That's that fentanyl in America.
Fentanyl. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Fentanyl, brother.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I saw, so, Dan Brown wrote in one of his books, I believe it or not, I've read quite a few books, but Dan Brown, he said the end of the human race is in 2050. So what's happening now? And you see it through prosthetics. They're using like microchips to use prosthetics, and like you can literally think about it in you can move your hands. And then they're also so my youngest sister, she's married to a guy, he's like 6'11", but he has what you call Marfan syndrome.
Yeah.
And it's hereditary. Wow. So when you go to give birth, you've got a very high chance of passing on the Marfan syndrome. And they had to go in there to his sperm. They separated all the sperm. They got the sex they want. They can change the eye color, the hair color, whatever. Yeah. So you're gonna have a new race that is what do you call it? Is going to be computer enhanced. It's artificial intelligence enhanced. You're gonna be able to take the best genes and enhance them. Yeah, that's right. There you go. Silas is up to no good again, boy. Take him off the camera for 2 seconds and he's making a mess, man. What's that? But anyway, so we're gonna have AI bodies. We're gonna have AI chipped bodies with elite DNA. So the human race will be completely evolved by 2050, according to one of Dan Brown's fictional books. But yeah, I mean, it's believable to me.
Is that Universal Soldier?
Yeah, well, I mean, you see these guys that get their arms amputated, and now they put a prosthetic on and a chip, and their hands move. You know what I mean? And then you can change the DNA, you can change the kid's sex, you can change his eye color, you can whatever you want. You can change his intelligence.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's something is happening. It's happening fast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's I don't know what it is, but
neurological linguistic programming.
NLP.
NLP.
I do that. All right. I think NLP, I took some NLP classes, but
they do have.
I did, you dick. I just don't want to,
You took NLP classes?
Yeah.
All right, what was that like?
Well, I don't know, man. I think it's a bunch of, definitely you learn how to mirror people's movements and understand how to emulate them and become part of them. And then if you want anybody to feel important, you tell them you're psychic, and then you tell them about how important they were in the past life, and they start crying, and then you've got a hold of them. That's kind of what that was. Yeah. And they go back into your life before, and then your life before, and your life before. And I said, well, I mean, they probably did happen, but I don't know. I don't see them. So as soon as they start telling me that shit, I'm gone. I'm a hillbilly. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Silas, what's the difference between a soul and a spirit?
Soul and the spirit. Well, it's both the same. Because the soul and the spirit is in everything. A spirit is life in within what Father has given from himself, even in trees that has a spirit. The spirit is different to a soul because a soul is only found in a man or a woman.
Yeah. I feel like a soul is inside the human body, and it is an energy that is transferred when you die, and and where that goes. And then a spirit is a separate entity that can it could be like a soul that doesn't know it's gone or whatever, but a spirit could be anything.
Yep. That's it. The spirit can be in anything, as in animals, as in a tree, anything that is living, any living organism has the spirit of Father. Yep.
All right. Well, hey, what else? What else, Silas? Are we done for today? We're gonna have to have you back because it seems like you're getting your own. You might need your own little podcast, bro. You know what I mean? Let's make you podcast. Hey,
Cool.
We'll make you podcast famous, baby.
Just got to bring another spare set of pants. I'm sorry, folks.
Hey, man, we got a lot of time for you. We got a lot of time for you, so do the fans.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it.
So like I say, 98% love you, 2% hate you.
Yep.
So if we go that's better than what I get. You know. So, what do you give us some final thoughts? Anything you want to say to the brothers? Go ahead. Let's get us out of here, bro.
All right, let's do it. So what I want to say to you, my beautiful brothers and sisters, is that no matter who you are or where you are, to be non-judgmental to people. Always look at people with empathy, because empathy is very important. If you can't be empathetic, then how can you carry on to do the good things that we are here to do, to help each other, to make sure we're safe? And as we were talking about earlier about the living conditions that are faced inside of these institutions that no one gets to see, well, these brothers get to feel it. And I've been there. I've been in the worst kind of situations you could imagine in these places, in these institutions, treated like an animal, eating off the floor, eating off the concrete and my own piss and shit. So I can tell you something about life. Life is how you treat people. Life is how you respect yourself and respect others around you. And learn to always look at the people that have nothing because they have more to give. They have more of a reason to be loyal to you and to give you back for the appreciation of one thing that you showed them love while everyone else was ignorant to them. And that is something that is inside of all of us. It doesn't matter where we come from or who we are or what country we come from. We all come from the same seed. We all have the same intention and the same goodness that was given from us that we can share with others. And that's truly something great, to realize that if we were to put ourselves in other people's shoes, we would realize the hardships and the pain and suffering that people do go through without having to look at our children next to us and know the struggles we're having on the outside. It can also happen to people on the inside. Most people I've seen down in punishment were actually mentally ill peoples, and they were treating them with such disrespect. And I couldn't stand it, to be honest. But I held myself and I said about how these people are getting treated, because they weren't of sound of mind. And they need to be in a place where they can be cared for. And, this is the great thing, that we can come together and do it together, the people doing it. Because really you've got to have that sensibility about saying, hey, you know what? Let's do it, man. Let's come together. Let's collaborate. Let's do what is necessary to actually make other people feel good about themselves. Because, man, just go out down the shopping centre and when you see someone, just say, hey, my brother, love you, my brother. Love you, my beautiful sister. Go hugging everyone. That's what I do, and I love it. It's been the best feeling that I could ever give to people, and not having to reflect on the pain and suffering that I had gone through, because most people don't say I love you to each other. It seems to be something that is not done in this world that we live in. And those things carry a lot of power and a lot of weight, and it releases burdens from people. And that's what I want to share with everyone, to keep strong by their faith and always remember that, everything in the goodness stays in the goodness, Father said. And that's the beauty about the love that he has for us. That if we remain there and we remain true to everyone else around us, we look after the families, we look after the people on the streets. We're not here to be a part of this genocide or these things that other people are performing while there's closed doors or while people don't see it. How scary would that be if you could imagine people sleeping and they're getting awoken at ungodly hours, 3 o'clock in the morning, while no witnesses are around, and they're taken from their home and they're taken away, and no one knows what their story is. And yet the narrative is that they OD'd or something stupid like that. And yet there's another story to it. It's all about money, a $90 million, in fact, it's a $90 million insurance claim that was put on you before you were even born in a hospital. It's part of a ritualistic practice. You also have a $270 million trust that is put under bearer bonds under the Vatican. This ain't conspiracy theories. This is conspiracy facts. And this constitutes to the world that we live in under this system, which is legalese. And if I was to go into the etymology of language, I could really destroy everything. But basically all these things that have been constructed under this narrative have been constructed because we have been duped. We have been put into these contracts. And these contracts are all performed at that Vatican, man. Whether I like it or not, and whether people don't like me in this eclectic world, I'll let them come at me because I've got God. And God always knows that the best thing is given for free, and that's the waters of life. So keep on going out there and being the good guy, because the good guy always stands with honor.
Attaboy.
You can be an honorable man, you can be an honorable woman, and that is what is necessary for this world, the world we live in. It's very decaying. And, you know, if we can hold on to that, then we'd be in a better position to be able to do something good for others. And that is the main thing that we want to put forward out to everyone, is to keep open-minded, you know. A lot of the talk, don't worry about me going off about Satan being a pufta. That's okay. It's just that I hold myself to the truth. Every time that I speak about something, it's more endearing to know that we're here for you than you having to think that you are alone out there in this very dark world. So, you know, anytime you can contact us, man. If you want to get a hold of me, you know, I'll give you my details, and you can contact me anytime, you and your family, and we can sit down together as a family, and we can look at the things that, you know, we need, that we can help you with. And that's how I am.
Why don't we, while we go to edit this, we'll set up a Silas the Entertainer Facebook or Instagram, and then we'll put it in the comments below, and then you'll have a separate one, you know, for whoever wants to get in contact with you. Because we had over 500 comments, and then a lot of them wanted to, you know, get to know you, talk to you, wanted to track you down. So we'll give them an opportunity to do that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Peace. Thank you, guys.
Hey, don't you have to say something about share and subscribe, and then you push the button and it was supposed to pop up, but it never did like last time? He's like, it's happening. You just, every time you say subscribe, it's supposed to pop up. I'm seeing the subscribe. I go, nothing's popping up. He goes, you just can't see it. And I'm going like this. And then I'm like, oh, what do you mean I can't see it? Everybody can see it but me? He goes, yes, everybody can see it but you. And I said, I was like, this is bullshit, man. Then he goes, it's because you're already subscribed that you can't see it. I was like, yeah. And then thank God somebody put it in the comments, we can't see the subscribe thing. So Diago, for God's sake, put that subscribe button right there. Right, put it right there.
Yeah. There's it'll light up. Light up.
Man, what can I say? As much as Diago's a dick, he's going nowhere, man. we'll chain him to the house. We love Diago here, man.
Yeah.
You know, he's quite the character. Despite organizing all the riots in Sydney for the anti-vax and having his wife almost thrown in prison for 38 years, he's all right.
This actually happened. That is true. That's a story for another day. But hey, subscribe.